Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric!
And welcome back to Batmania! Today we're tackling Sub-Zero! Yeah, this time it's the one on the left, Eric.
That's right.
Instead of Mask of
Which is weird because the pictures are reversed on the back.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's wrong on the disc flip, like where you would the side you would expect it to be on because of the sticker. It's on the opposite side of that. It screws me up every time. So I want to watch Mask of the Phantasm. I ended up putting Sub-Zero in. Vice
I'm sure
versa.
it's equally good.
Yeah, sure. No, part of me actually kind of wishes that we were just doing Phantasm a second time, but today we're doing Sub-Zero, which I know some diehard Batman animated series fans really like. This is a movie that I was pretty hard on in the rewind, and I haven't...
Conroy loves it.
Yeah. It feels like, with all due respect to Mr. Conroy, it feels like kind of a concept over execution thing, where when he talks about that movie, I get what he's talking about, but I'm not seeing it on screen. It is a lovely looking movie. But it's, I mean, obviously we'll talk about it as we're watching it, but I think it's kind of boring.
And I have with this what CJ had with Phantasm.
I think it has.
I haven't watched this since VHS when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I thought it was boring as sin.
Yeah, and I
never went back to it.
I hadn't either until I went to the rewind, and I wasn't sure. Well, no, that's not true. I showed it to my wife at one point because I thought it was good, and then she was like, "This is really dull and awful." And my big thing is it's kind of built on a faulty premise, but we'll talk about that, okay. I suppose. Just with the blood transfusion thing, it's silly. It doesn't work. But it takes itself too seriously for the story it's telling, because it just doesn't actually end up making any sense, and it wants to be a real serious drama in the way Phantasm was. I mean, it feels like a big step down from that. But anyway, so I mean, you know our thoughts right away. Or
well, you don't know my thoughts.
Or at least mine.
Maybe I'll love it.
I mean, you remember it. Well, and
I remember it being really boring.
And that's the thing is, like, after Sarah was like, it's really dull, I went to the rewind with an open mind and hoped that I would find whatever it was I really liked about it when I was a kid, and I didn't. And it was just, well, this is really pretty, and good job with your soft focus.
You at least liked it when you were a kid. I did not. I watched Phantasm a number of times as a kid. I never re-rented Sub-Zero.
Yeah. I don't know. And I saw this, of course, when it came out, and it was the same year as Batman and Robin, or maybe just the year after. I think this is a '97 release. And anyway, so let's go ahead and get into it. If you want to watch it with us, get out your DVD if you have it, and get a timestamp 0. Make sure you're watching Sub-Zero and not whatever else this is packaged with. I think Sub-Zero is another one of those that is usually packaged with something else. I don't think I've ever seen it by itself.
I think I've seen it by itself.
Have you really?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
You know what? I know I've seen it by itself because I saw it at work today.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I was like, I have to watch this.
Yeah. But it'll be like, and by the way, we have like 5 animated movies in a row before we get to the next live-action thing, and this is about the same length.
Yeah, because I guess Mr. Batwoman comes out before
Batman
Begins as well.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Batwoman,
which I've never seen.
03 or 04. Yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. Get ready to press play at timestamp 0, and here we go. Everybody, please press play. Oh, and we should mention, in honor of Sub-Zero, we are drinking milkshakes today. What kind of milkshake are you drinking, Eric?
It's half chocolate, half strawberry.
Oh, cool. Mine is pineapple, just straight up pineapple. It's one thing I really like about Sonic is that they have the pineapple flavor, and they have kept the pineapple flavor. Are you a cherry person? Do you like cherries?
I do like cherries.
Did you already eat yours?
But mine was buried in the cream, and I didn't want to get my fingers all sticky, so I'm just not going to have it.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I love cherries, but I'm that guy who always ends up going out with people who all hate cherries, so I end up with all the cherries.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, this happens with people that like cherries. Like if you'll go out with 6 people and none of them like cherries, and so you end up getting all the cherries.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
It's never happened to me.
Oh well, it happens to me a lot.
I'm only friends with cherry people.
Oh, cool. That's nice. I don't understand people that don't like cherry. I think cherries are delicious.
I agree.
Here we go. Sub-Zero. Get ready.
There are a few sodas that cherry doesn't make better.
That's true, but arguably, because it's just flavoring and it's not real cherry, it's not the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think you can dog on people that like that flavor but don't like cherries straight up. Like, it's sort of like the conversation you and I had the other day about tomatoes, where it makes sense to people that don't like to eat a tomato straight up, but they'll have tomato sauce in a pizza.
Well, obviously anything flavored banana does not taste like a banana.
Yeah, but I would argue a lot of things that are just flavored banana taste a little bit more like banana than like cherry Coke versus cherries. Like,
yeah,
that's a little different.
yeah.
Anyway, it's polar bear time. Everybody, please press play right now.
Do you know why banana flavoring tastes different than bananas?
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell me.
It's because. Is there just no sound?
Give me just a second. No, it's a mixer problem. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Pause your movies, everyone.
Yeah, I'll splice it here. Hopefully, I remember to go back and edit this. This is from an issue from earlier when I was dealing with a Skype problem. I checked it before we started. I thought I had it figured out. Nope, I fixed the, Give me a second. I fixed the audio, but not the microphone. Or the, yeah. There we go. Okay, we're good now.
You should splice it exactly at right, and then splice it to now.
That's a good idea. Sure, future me, do that! Okay. Everybody, please press play right now!
Do you know why banana flavoring tastes different than bananas?
Well, I don't, Eric. Why is that?
It's because bananas are basically completely our creation, and the banana flavoring is based on the bananas that we used to have, which are not the bananas that we have now, because we have genetically created bananas.
Oh, so they're based on the natural flavor
Yes.
of the bananas from like the Congo or wherever bananas are from.
Not the bizarre thing that we have now.
And one thing that's frustrating about this movie for me is that it looks really cool, and then I just don't like it. I just don't like the story as much as I wish I did.
Now, it makes a lot of sense to do this. Probably, I think...
I gotta interject real quick. It's cool that they did the Elfman theme there. And I mean, I know that Shirley Walker's theme is based on Elfman, but I mean, that's the 89 opening truncated. Like, that's really cool.
Well, Paul Dini didn't work on this, or didn't write this. I would have assumed that Paul Dini would have been a writer on this, given that he wrote Heart of Ice. But it makes a lot of sense. The two biggest things, I think, moving forward for Batman that gets credited to animated series, and the two most important contributions animated series made were the complete reinvention of Mr. Freeze and Harley Quinn.
Right.
So doing a Mr. Freeze movie makes sense.
Because in the fan community, it was already that beloved. And I mean, remember, this is 5 years after that show started.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, we just done a movie with Mr. Freeze, which is based on the animated series version of Mr. Freeze.
Mm-hmm. Animation-wise, real ambitious.
Yeah.
And those polar bears are going to be all over this movie.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Mr. Freeze? Is that why he's
Yep.
white?
I think so. That's why he's white.
Well, at first I just assumed it was like a guy in like a white wetsuit, but... You know, it would be cooler if that was shaped like an animal. Like a penguin.
What? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. The submarine?
Ooh, I like the lighting there.
Yeah. That guy looked like he could have been Nigma or Clock King. Like mixed, Riddler and Clock King mixed as one character, maybe. See his glasses?
Mm-hmm.
This is a movie I don't know real well. It's gonna be, and this is gonna be the first of these that I've not seen a bunch of times, and that I don't know scene by scene or even frame by frame. Like pretty much everything else we've watched, I think.
No, except for '89. You hardly know that movie.
Right? Yeah. That's why we did the World's Finest quote along, and not the '89 quote along. And all of the movies we've done so far, I think World's Finest might be the one I know the least, but because I did a rewind recently, I've had to watch it several times, or 2 or 3 times recently.
Would you say it's Sub-Zero?
This guy would just be a little on the nose, I think.
You live in a
No
world
one
with
except
Superman.
Mr. Freeze. That's a good point. I think he means human beings. I think that's implied.
He said no.
There's something provocative to me about seeing Mr. Freeze without his suit sometimes. I don't know, it's just sometimes that can be kind of a striking image. Maybe it's just because we don't usually see it, or the idea of like Mr. Freeze in his element. That's one thing I do really like about the aesthetic of this is you don't see Mr. Freeze in the Arctic much. You usually see him, having to
He's in the city.
put on his suit because he's out of his own element. So having to bring someone to him.
Have we ever established if like he has to like do something to his suit? Like if he goes to like a tropical location and it's so much hotter than it regularly is, does he have to make it even colder?
I don't know. I would assume it's just like internally regulated. But somebody should do a Mr. Freeze kind of parody thing where he's got like a thermostat.
I guess it makes sense that there's ice in the Arctic.
So we're opening this like a lot of like action movies or disaster movies from this period, I think. You got the people in the submarine. They're picking up on something
Disney.
Weird that's about to happen. Sorry, what?
I said this is real Disney. The way they were shooting him looking at her and they were like kind of panning around and the light was beaming in.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of just throwing back to Heart of Ice, right?
Yeah.
It is cool. Like I said, really ambitious with some of the animation here. It's fun that she's not awake or anything, but we see him from her perspective. Or sort of. Actually, no, I'm wrong about that. Okay, actually, scratch that. That's weird. Because, okay, so we saw that from outside of the tube that she's in. Why is it kind of fuzzy footage when we're looking at Mr. Freeze, but not on the other side? Like, I thought it was because we were looking at it from inside her glass, but it's not. Why is it kind of Vaseline on the lens? Is it just
because
the light hitting him?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, no, this looks really Disney to me.
Yeah, sure. It's also pseudo, like, Fortress of Solitude.
Whoa.
And this, folks, is what happened to the Titanic.
I hope no one's living in this cave.
That'd be a fun
Oh no.
retelling of the real-world Titanic story. Titanic hits an iceberg that has Mr. Freeze in it.
So everything that's going to happen for the next 60 minutes is going to be these guys' fault.
Yeah. Yeah, they really botched up there. If that hadn't happened, you would have no movie.
They're so callous. They don't even know.
And we worked really hard to try to victimize Mr. Freeze here again.
And that's always been my biggest problem with Mr. Freeze as a character. I think he has one story, and after that, I can't sympathize with him anymore.
Do you get kind of tired of just the saga of the wife in the tube?
Yeah, because I never feel like it ever moves forward.
Past it? Yeah.
You have to do something like this.
That is one thing I have to give this movie is that we finally get past it.
And then
I don't know if you remember that. In this movie, she walks away, and the tragedy is she doesn't stay with him.
I did not remember that. I did remember.
We just get it on a news broadcast.
When we get the new Batman adventures, she's no longer there.
Yeah.
And when he comes back in Batman Beyond,
I think it would have been really cool. Yeah, and that story's great. We had to go all the way that far in the future before we could finally tell another good Mr. Freeze story, but
I like the one in new Batman Adventures.
I don't know if it's a great story.
I just really like the spider legs.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. One thing I have to give this to visually is I think all the CG is pretty well integrated.
Yeah.
I like all the depth of field, and part of why it's working, I think, is because there's a lot of depth and texture in the traditional animation also. So it blends well because that stuff doesn't look flat. But already, even just teaser into this into this first scene proper, the pacing feels off.
Yeah, it feels like it's taking too long.
It's real stretch. I mean, one of the things that was so great about Phantasm is it is feature length, but it feels like it's paced like that show. And that show gets so much done in 20 minutes. You got to be careful not to rush things and get too much done, I guess. You know, mix too much in. But I don't think this manages that. I think this is a story that easily could have been told in a singular episode. And it's stretch. You can't say that about Phantasm. Phantasm would have had to have been at least 2 or 3 episodes.
You just wouldn't have had such a lackadaisical pace.
And I get why it's paced this way, not just to stretch it out, but because it's trying to have some I almost say gravitas. That's not really what it is. It's not a grand story, but it's trying to have some weight in being such a personal story, and again, a personal tragedy.
It wants to be an epic.
For Freeze.
Like Lawrence of Arabia, nice.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess so.
I've never seen Lawrence of Arabia. I'm just assuming. I just know how people talk about Lawrence of Arabia.
But not an epic in the sense of like grand scope, but in just the way it's shot and what it looks like. Because it's a real personal story.
Ooh, that's a cool shot.
Yeah.
I like how he was animated there. The animation is really good in this.
And like Phantasm, it looks like... Well, actually, more than Phantasm, it looks almost like it's meant to be on the big screen. It's kind of unfortunate that it's in this aspect ratio, come to think of it. I wonder if there is a version of this that's not 4:3, but I doubt it.
Yeah, because it was intended to go there.
Direct-to-video, yeah. And that was part of the problem with finishing Phantasm, was they found out at the 11th hour it was going to go to the big screen, so they had to make sure that it was formatted correctly.
I'd never thought about that, but yeah, you're right.
That's something I've heard Bruce Timm talk about. But I really wish that this was in a cinematic aspect ratio. And like I said when we did Phantasm, that was a testament to how great that animation already was, that it just translates wholesale really well to the big screen. But this is trying to up the stakes a little bit.
Oh, this is now old news?
Yeah.
But
well, it will be really old news by the time this comes out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, is this is now old news when this video comes out. But the Phantasm Blu-ray is out. No special features. It's a complete bare bones release.
Yeah. I told you they weren't putting special features on that. I had already looked it up on Amazon. And it probably has the same cover.
It's what you would have expected them to put out 10 years ago.
If somebody says it somehow or rather looks amazing in high def, I might go ahead and buy it, but I can't imagine you'd be able to tell the difference. I might be wrong.
Well, you and I can't tell the difference much anyways.
You can more in animation, but sometimes Blu-ray can really hurt animation, especially cell animation. Doesn't look like it's moving right.
And it messes up the colors a lot.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I know people talk about with the Blu-ray for Transformers the movies. The colors are off.
Oh, look, his ice cream hair is back, which is appropriate for this film.
Well, yeah, because...
Gordon and his ice cream hair.
Oh, it's weird that this is released after World's Finest, because that means that on television, we're already into the New Adventures of Batman.
Well, yeah.
I always assumed that this had to have come out before that.
Yeah, and this is not in that animation style. Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah. And that's only a one-season show.
Yeah.
Is this going back and telling the story of how Mr. Freeze got to where he was then?
That's a good question. I guess it would have to.
That's weird.
Yeah. I hadn't really tracked that timeline.
No, I wouldn't have thought of it if we hadn't already done World's Finest.
But yeah, because World's Finest, I mean, unless I got my dates wrong when I looked those things up, but I checked the months. I don't have it sitting in front of me, but I saw this on TV first. They did televise it.
Oh, interesting.
It was probably on the WB or something.
Yeah, I rented it from my local video store.
That's Buffy. That's not Buffy.
No.
When I was a kid, I thought the soft focus stuff was so cool. Just that you could even do that in animation.
He looks like someone, but I can't place it.
Yeah, he's got a real kind of mob boss face, but he's not a mob boss.
He looks a little bit like Jack Lemmon in
These are animated characters, Eric.
He looks a little bit like Jack Lemmon in Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh, Glengarry, yeah.
Now he sounds like him in Glengarry Glen Ross.
Okay, actually, now some of that soft focus is getting distracting. You just put a guy right here, and like my eyes are almost like blurring up.
You think she's gonna be important?
No, she's not gonna matter at all. Part of the reason I think I get a little bit antsy, it's weird because her character model does not look like Barbara Gordon at all.
No,
yeah,
I didn't realize that
was the joke I was making. Yeah, that's Barbara, but you can't tell it's Barbara. So when she walks up, and you're like, she's not gonna matter. I thought that was what you were talking about.
Didn't realize that was Barbara.
One of the things that gets me kind of antsy watching this movie, where I'm just kind of shifting my seat a little bit, is we have established Bruce Wayne and Gordon, and now we're establishing, you know, Dick and Barbara as maybe a couple, but the majority of what we've seen so far is about characters that aren't Batman.
Mm-hmm. And that's weird if this was made after the new Batman Adventures, because Barbara and Bruce are kind of a thing in that.
Yeah. Maybe they started working on it before that. I honestly haven't heard a lot about this production because, of course, this doesn't have any special features.
Mm.
And every now and again, you'll hear things about some of these productions as they're talking about as the people who worked on these shows are talking about those shows.
Well, it seems like, aside from Kevin Conroy, nobody else seems to remember this fondly or really talk about this one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how obligatory it was. I don't know if DC... I wish I knew more about this production.
Mm.
Once again, we never presume to be experts. We're just watching all the Batman movies.
Yeah.
I don't know, and if folks know these things, you know, leave comments, of course, but I don't know if... I feel like I maybe heard somewhere that Warner's like asked them to do a Mr. Freeze thing because of Batman and Robin, but I don't know if that's what happened. I think I've heard Bruce Timm say that, but it's been so long, I don't remember where. I couldn't source it.
Did they say make it slow and boring? Was that also
she looks like generic Black Canary to me.
Yeah.
She looks like somebody with like a really super generic face trying to be Black Canary. I'm sorry, what?
I said, was Warner Brothers' edict also make it really, really boring?
Really dull?
Stretched? Yeah. Our movie's gonna be like super oversaturated with colors and like gonna move at like a rapid pace. Could you do the opposite of that?
And this is a movie, this might sound like a really strange point to make, but I feel like this story would have worked better with live action actors because so much of it is out of costume.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I remember that as a kid being like, when are they gonna be in costume?
Which, if I'm invested in the story, especially as an adult, I don't care as much.
Mm.
Okay, so there's a thing about this song.
Okay.
I hear, and that's a 1960s doo-wop song, I think. Maybe it goes back a little farther than that. I think that must be one of the cheapest songs to get the rights for, because I hear it in everything. It's in a Voyager episode. and I think it's in I think it's in the Smallville episode where Jarrell's in the 50s. Like, it's everywhere. And it's a great, super romantic song. I mean, and you almost always hear it when a couple is in a car together. Like, that's what's on the radio.
That's the makeout song.
Yes. Yeah, precisely.
How come you're in your suit if it's so cold?
That's a really good question. He doesn't really need to be in a suit.
Well, I guess if we took him there, he's not going to be like, all right, I'm going to get out of my suit now. You stand over there.
You stand over there. Don't peek. Don't look. So he should be freezing to death.
Mm-hmm. But so should she. This should not be preserving her body. I always assumed that whatever was in that was some kind of, like, chemical.
Oh, yeah, that it wasn't just... But I thought the deal was she has the same condition that he does. No, I guess it's not that.
No, he, like,
now that I'm thinking
her.
about it. Right.
But I never assumed it was literally just
he developed
freezing
cryostasis.
her. Yeah. Because there she looks... She's just laying in ice. That's not how that works.
We're doing that cartoon thing where you could just freeze someone and they'll survive. You know, like Captain America.
But it's dumb, because then why wouldn't we just freeze everybody?
So this is the faulty premise this is built on. That she has this extremely rare blood type, and the math doesn't work out. I forget exactly what it is. I figured the math out when I did the rewind. And I think they just say is it just A, B, I forget what it is. Mm-hmm. I think they even tell you what the blood type is, and it's the rarest blood type, but it's not like 6 people have it, and they act like it has to be a woman for some reason. Okay, look, 9 matching files. It's AB negative. Oh, it's going up now. There's a few more matching files. There are 18 total people at that hospital.
Why that one? Why that one of all of them?
Yeah.
What's up
with
his
He just clicks
eyes?
on Barbara for no reason. Now, I complained about this in the rewind because I remembered... Okay, I think I might have been wrong about something in the rewind. That was a weird transition. 2 eyes to then just 2 chicks in a picture on a wall. Okay. It's a strange choice. Anyway.
4.
Yeah. Mr. Freeze really misses having a wife for some primal reasons, even. I think I might have been wrong about something because I remember that scene playing like he was looking at everybody in Gotham that had that blood type, but it's just that hospital. Oh, but no, I remember what it is. Why does he look at other hospitals too? I guess some of it is just it's so super convenient that he pulls Barbara out of those. Oh, you know what it is? You know what it is? It's not. I'm not thinking about this right. Obviously, it's not just people that are at hospitals. It's just files of people that are on file at the hospital. And he's looking at just that hospital. But even just that hospital, you'd think there would be a lot more people in a big city like that, at a big hospital, that they would have on a file that would have that blood type. The bigger problem, again, of course, is it just happens to click on Barbara Gordon. And you'd think he'd know who that was. Yeah,
he just scrolls through a list and he's like, this looks promising.
Why wouldn't you go to somebody that wasn't high profile? You'd think you'd know who Barbara Gordon was.
Yeah.
If you're...
Mr. Freeze would know who Barbara Gordon was.
Mr. Freeze would know who she was.
Or at the very least, you'd be like, Gordon, she's not related to Commissioner Gordon, right?
You'd want to fact check that. I mean, yeah, you'd want to check it.
How'd they get here? Did they walk? Did you fly them? How'd the polar bears get to Gotham City? They were in the Arctic.
Fruitcake? Okay. That's a pet peeve of mine sometimes, Eric, with characters that are really well established when regular citizens don't seem to recognize them. I don't buy that anyone in Gotham City, and probably really just the world at large, wouldn't know Mr. Freeze instantly. Any big high-profile criminal with a costume that's fought Batman more than one time, you'd think people would know. Especially in a world that so far hasn't had so many costume villains. I mean, like, yeah, he's got a rogues gallery, but we're not in Justice League territory yet. I always thought that kick was pretty cool.
Yeah, like, it'd be okay if, like, nobody knew who, like, Clock King was, but...
Yeah.
He's Mr. Freeze.
You do a whole story about how nobody knows who Clock King is. And obviously, with things like Condiment King, we make fun of the sheer number of riffraff criminals nobody actually pays attention to, and
but never
how
the
people
Cavalier.
Yeah.
I just want him in a serious Batman show. Why can't I have that?
I feel like if Beware the Batman had gone a second season, that's where you would have gotten that.
Yeah,
Don't
you're
you
probably
think?
right. Oh, that would be great.
Because they went to the obscure ones. I feel like he would fit the aesthetic of that show pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, I wish that happened.
I know. Now you can't unsee it.
No.
You're even imagining it in that 3D rendering.
Because we get him in Brave and the Bold, and it's exactly what you'd think they would do with him, and that's fine. But I want to see a serious take on Cavalier.
Shaka when the walls fell. You know, I have a really hard time watching this movie, not just wanting to snap at it, asking it to go a little faster. Like,
do you remember that time I pointed my gun at the screen? This isn't going to be like that time.
Yeah, you're spot on when you say that this probably... Well, not even that it necessarily gets made for this reason, but that just it makes sense because Heart of Ice was so popular and it's such a good episode. But it feels like it's struggling really hard to have like the weight of that.
And I don't know why they wouldn't get Dini on this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what he was doing at this point because he's working on Superman. I think he definitely writes some of the New Batman Adventures, so he's still around. Why wouldn't you put him on this?
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah, and he wouldn't have done a story this generic.
Yeah. He could have even done the spine of it, where we're going to do a story that ends the Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. Well, and one thing that I think the thing that frustrates me most about this movie is because as I'm watching it, it's just okay, get on with it. But by the end, the really frustrating thing is you have a better premise in your ending, and I always hate that feeling where you get to the end and you're like, oh, the story didn't start until just now.
So all those CGI cars look better than what we will see later on.
Yeah. Yeah, and the street is populated. But this is an important point. When you get to the end of this movie and she gets and she wakes up and then doesn't stay with him, if I'm remembering right, I'm almost positive that's how this ends. That's your story, right? First act should be he finally got what he wanted,
and she doesn't want to be with him, and then you move forward.
and then you move forward.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be an interesting story? And actually make her a character. And then you could have, and I guess I'm just saying this because it's the next feature-length thing they do. I mean, I know it's not theatrical and it's not a sequel to Phantasm, but you could do some interesting parallels with Mr. Freeze and Batman and their lost loves. You know, you could do some cool things, some cool parallels with her and Andrea maybe. And it's just I get to the end and I'm frustrated because I want to know where she goes and what she does. But it's weird because so far, I mean, this already feels like it's shaping up to be a pretty cookie-cutter kind of story. And right now it's all about the spectacle, but it's not the kind of spectacle you would expect to see in animation. It feels like a live-action, and it feels like it's kind of like holding back, like it's got a budget or something.
And it looks better than the animated series did. Like that shot that we just had of Mr. Freeze in the mirror, that's a great shot. But it's not enough better that it feels like it warrants.
It's not deserving
this treatment.
Yeah, this material's not deserving of this execution. I feel like Robin on a motorcycle, and I know he's out of costume right now, but like Dick Grayson, Robin on a motorcycle, sliding down the side of something like that became almost like an iconic thing for this version of it. I don't know why, but it just seems like we like to do that shot a lot.
Do we?
I think so.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm just thinking about this movie in like one other place, but
I mean, maybe that's the thing. That's not immediately jumping to me.
and of course we like to do a lot of. I mean, we did a lot of motorcycle shots in Forever Batman and Robin.
Mm. Yeah, he was a motorcycle guy in those.
He's got pink tie.
Yeah. They're whipping around those turns real fast. That's dangerous. You see how twisty turn that is? Those guardrails are not that strong.
No. No, it felt like a Disney cartoon, except the railings don't like come out like rubbery when you go around them.
Don't tell me how I'll feel. I'll feel how I want to feel.
That was a real dramatic pose if you're trying to get somebody to take medicine.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask the question I was probably asking when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Where's Batman?
Yeah.
No, I know exactly why I didn't like this movie as a kid. This is boring, and Batman is nowhere in it.
Yeah, and it's not ultimately really going to be about Batman at all.
One of the worst things when I was a kid was
in the story you can in the series you can do a story that's just kind of a Dick Grayson story or a Batgirl story, but I don't know. It's a movie. It's called Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero, but like, and that's kind of weird too because then you almost I don't know. It's I was gonna say you almost expect Mr. Freeze to be like one of the protagonists or something, but I guess they put the poster together as if like those were the stars of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mr. Jones, Mr. Smith. Anyway, I'm sorry, what was that?
When I was a kid, I recorded an episode of Batman off TV or a VHS or something, and it was the only episode that I had, and I hated it, and it sucked because it was Showdown. Which isn't a bad episode, but Batman isn't in Showdown. That's the Jonah Hex episode.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's an okay episode. Batman's not in it.
And it's the only one you had.
Yeah. I don't think that's how that works.
And see, we're trying to play this like it's filled with intrigue and... It like I said, it just feels like a real cookie cutter kind of been there, done that kind of plot.
Yeah. But they're trying to treat it with like a grandeur that it doesn't have.
Uh-huh. And this is not a case that's worthy of Batman's detective skills.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, like, we're padding this out so much that we have to watch him type out Barbara. Like, I don't know.
Why would he immediately jump to that?
And see, now it might just be a coincidence, but they're all women. That doesn't make any sense. At least all the ones they show you. And it might be that they put all the women together and the men together, but we only see the women.
But wait, how did he get to rare blood type? Because he didn't press anything and it was just like 18 people.
Yeah.
How did he know to even think it? I mean, Batman would already know, like, that's the rarest blood type, but...
Yeah.
Why would he zoom in on that other than that is the reason?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, what I thought last time I watched this. They wouldn't have any sense of motivation yet.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she was kidnapped, and...
It's not like Mr. Freezeman was like, I need you for your blood! And then Batman would have something to go on.
Yeah, unless it was some detail I just forgot about sitting here and missed again. Like, why is he even looking up hospital files in the I just don't remember.
Well, because someone accessed her hospital file. That's what they said.
Okay.
Somehow they could tell that someone accessed her hospital file.
If we gotta contrive that fast just to have them find her, then A, why is it so slow? And B, let's not pretend like it's an intriguing story. Let's say that was easy and get on with it.
Mm.
Yeah, Batman detective something finds her.
Mm.
Or at least knows what he's looking for, or knows why she's been kidnapped.
Yeah, she's not even hearing him out. She's being real unreasonable. At least hear him out.
Yeah. I also remember being disappointed when I was a kid that we don't really get to see her do Batgirl stuff.
Yeah, except right in the beginning.
Right. And I always liked their Batgirl costume.
I've always thought it was a little bland. It reminds me of their Catwoman costume.
I always liked the Catwoman costume too. I know I'm on the fringe when it comes to some of the stuff I like in the show. That's a real cool looking shot.
Yeah.
Freeze come through the door there.
They should do more.
This is all
silhouetted
just
with red
so
eyes.
pretty.
Mm.
I don't want to be bored and look at such gorgeous animation.
Mm.
It's really frustrating. Except for that one guy who did not seem to know who
I
you
thought
were.
he was just a fruitcake.
Yeah.
Couldn't even tell he was a person.
I don't think
Thought he was just...
Now, maybe he's just an idiot. Maybe he's like anybody in a costume I'm going to call a fruitcake. You know.
That's my thing.
Maybe he's
Everyone knows that about me.
He's just real bigoted against anybody in costumes, you know. Good guy or bad guy or good guy. Fruitcake.
I'm trying to remember what they called them in the comics. Or at least what...
Fruitcakes?
No. I think it's what Morrison calls them. I can't remember what other people call it. There's a term for what the supervillains in Gotham are, and
Is it Muggle?
No.
No?
No. That would be the non-supervillains.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Man, some of the lighting choices and color choices are so cool in this. I'll go this far. If you just sent me 50 random screenshots from this movie, I'd expect it's awesome.
Yeah, probably.
Oh my god, polar bears! Previously on Lost.
Did they ever explain those polar bears?
Sort of. Not really. I remember it not being very satisfactory, but it's been a while since I've seen it. I'm sure somebody will leave a comment and be like, no, the polar bears made sense. It's one of the only things that did.
Yeah, but even if it made sense, that doesn't mean it's satisfactory.
I know there were a lot of just, like, experiments on the island with seeing how different things would react and cope to being on a place with all that electromagnetism and a place that, like, moved around, but I don't remember if that was all the explanation. If it was just they went to into the Antarctic and grabbed some polar bears and put them there in the 70s to see what they would do. I think that might be all it was, but I can't remember. That's a real old school animation and even kind of a Hitchcock thing to do, right? Somebody comes over water and then we do the quick zoom thing.
Mm. You know, I was watching something the other day that did an old movie trick, and I was like, I don't know if you're allowed to still do this, and like it made me start wanting. It did the thing where it ended the scene by having the screen go black and close in on like the head of a person as the transition to the next scene.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, I haven't seen this in a long time. Are you allowed to still do this?
That's not Mariko. She's not gonna. Wolverine's not gonna date that woman. I'm sorry, but he's not gonna have any interest in her. It's weird that I just did a rewind of the Wolverine, and then there's Mariko
and their partner, Yukio.
Mariko may be a really common name in Japan. I don't know.
It doesn't come up a lot in anime, but that doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Not like Sakura.
Ask me a harder question.
I'm convinced Sakura is like... It's like Jennifer in Japan.
Are we really pretending like this is a cool detective story?
That does seem to be what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Well, then I'll stop asking that question.
Okay.
I'll stop wondering about that. Look, I'm having the same problem the movie is. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to fill time.
Yeah.
You know, when we did World's Finest last time, I mentioned that Lex Luthor's handkerchief was shaped like an L. I think sometimes it is, but now that I'm looking at that, I think his handkerchief looks exactly like Lex's did, and I don't think it actually is shaped like an L. Anyway,
don't worry. People have already commented in the last video telling you wrong about
yeah,
that.
I'm sure they have. Yeah. So Mr. Freeze mistakenly thinks that he has a helmet that's covering his entire face because he's doing the Power Ranger thing where he's got to go real over the top with all of his with all of his mannerisms. He's talking with his hands a lot, and he's like, "Don't try to escape again, or I'll chain you as well." Like, you're not a Power Ranger. Why are you? And I don't feel like Heart of Ice Mr. Freeze did that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Spirit
and he's supposed to
uses more range of motion.
Cold and emotionless and stoic. Like, you wouldn't think he would move so he wouldn't be so melodramatic, right?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I mean, he should be stiffer. That's kind of the point of him. He's scarier because he just stands there and has a presence, and he's willing to do anything to get what he wants because he doesn't care about anyone but himself and his wife. And that's made him lose his humanity. I don't have to explain the point of Mr. Freeze to people, but that's the point of this version of it.
Yeah, there's a description in the Thunderball novel of Blofeld, and it describes him as a man that doesn't motion with his hands. Like, he just sits there, which is one of the nice details in Spectre. Is if you pay attention to him when he's speaking, his hands are on the table; they don't move. He never motions with his hands.
Oh, wow.
But that's what Mr. Freeze should be like.
Right. That's what
he shouldn't emote with his hands. Look, I have a lot of questions with you and age and dating already. You don't need to complicate this any further.
I was going to say, is she implying that if he's 12 or younger, he can't start to have an attraction to women yet?
Well, I think
because he's like, you're really pretty too, and she's like, are you sure you're 12?
Well, I think the implication is like 12-year-olds wouldn't hit on someone like an 18-year-old. Like he's being real forward about it.
Okay. Thanks for explaining that.
I'm just gonna drain her blood, even if it kills her.
You gotta be really careful when you ask supervillains that question, or you're gonna hurt her, because supervillains like to go to the loophole a lot of they won't feel anything. And they like to pretend like hurt only means if you physically feel it. That's not what doctors mean when they say do no harm.
Even the blanket looks well animated.
Yeah. This is gonna sound awful. Why did we work so hard on this movie?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? This feels like a script that took like an hour and a half to write in a movie that took a year and a half to make.
Are we going to talk about how much you look like Alfred? I mean, no one. It's almost like it's the exact same character model, but we changed the hair to black.
I have nothing to add. It's not almost, but that seems like what they kind of did. It gave him slightly different eyebrows, maybe. I don't know.
Ah, Batman's eyes look so cool.
Okay, so New Batman Adventures started in September of '97, and it aired until January of '99, which I always forget. I always think of it as just a year, and there's not.
Because it's only the one box set.
There's not more than a year's worth of episodes, but they stretched it along, you know, for a while. But let me see what the month was for this movie. We have nothing better to do.
Yeah. What else are we gonna do? I'm sitting here trying to think of what Grant Morrison calls costume criminals in Gotham.
I gotta look that up.
It's really bugging me. I don't know how you would look that up.
I don't either. Yeah. This I was right. This did come out in '98. I say I was right. I was thinking that earlier, but I wasn't sure about it. Yeah. So this does come out in the middle of that show.
That
show's already started airing.
That's really weird.
Yeah. And the World's Finest just already happened.
That's really weird.
I wonder if anybody watched this and tried to decide whether or not it counted.
Yeah.
As part of canon.
Yeah.
Because I think technically Mystery of the Batwoman does not.
Because it's not the same people, right?
Yeah. I think it's actually... It doesn't count, and neither does Brainiac Attacks.
Yes, Brainiac Attacks definitely doesn't count.
And thank God, because, oh boy. That rewind just wrote itself, man. And this is stupid, and this is stupid. Oh, and this is also stupid.
I remember watching that on TV when it came on and thinking it was like a multi-parter, like Brainiac episode. Like I thought I was watching episodes from that show.
Really?
And then I was like, oh, this is really bad. Was this show like this? It's not gimmick criminals. It's not franchise criminals. There's a specific term. If this is Marvel Mania, I'd just get up and go in my room and grab the book and bring it out here. But I don't want to be unprofessional. You know what? I'm just going to go get the book. I'll be right back.
I mean, this is no different than Marvel Mania in that way. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, bye!
Bye.
And she thinks she's Spawn now.
Did her eyes glow and did she cry about Wanda?
No, but she spun a
Nelly?
chain around and threw it at someone. And she yelled Wanda. You totally missed it.
Oh, okay.
I was like, no, that's Dick.
Ooh, look at that fire.
No.
What kind of Wanda was it? Was it like Wanda? Or was it like Wanda? Or was it like Wanda?
Yeah, it was pretty over the top. It was more that third thing. Yeah. A little later, she'll be all, this is Barbara territory. Oh, no. Oh, yes!
Novelty Crime Act.
Oh, okay.
They're novelty criminals. Why couldn't I think of novelty?
I don't know, but that's okay. We needed something to do. Okay, this just looks like a video game.
You know what? This is boring. Can I just read this? Is that cool?
No, that's not fair, because I don't get to do that. No, put it down. Well, I mean, I guess I could too, but then that would be kind of not fun for the viewers. Yeah, where we're just. I mean, this isn't even Batman related. But
no, mine is. It's Black Glove.
Well, I mean, I don't have to go too far.
No, you got a whole shelf over there. You wouldn't want to be unprofessional though.
This is the Batman, room after all.
We should try and count how many Batman things you have here.
Well, that would be hard.
1,
because there's a
2,
lot.
3, 4, 5, 6.
No, we got to talk about this 20-minute episode that's stretched into an hour and 5 minutes.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
This Kunat kid doesn't have a great voice. I'm sorry, Andrea Romano. I'm not sure you were real spot on with your kid casting this time.
I counted 18 Batman things in your wall.
And we've had decent. Oh, I thought you meant just in the whole room where we were gonna have to go to graphic novels and be like 1, 2.
No, I just counting the wall stuff.
Oh, the wall stuff. Okay, but things that just have Batman on them. So you didn't count Riddler.
No. I counted everything that was Batman-y. So like I didn't count the.
But it's redundant. There's nothing on the wall that's not Batman-y. What are you pointing at? Oh. Black Canary is a Batman character.
And Black Canary shrine.
Look,
I didn't count the cat that's always right.
Arrow is just a... Okay, that's a really good point there. But Arrow, as you always point out, is just a Batman show.
But it's not a Batman show, so I didn't count it.
No,
I didn't count those three pictures.
Count.
I counted 21. You want to check my math on that?
No. No, I'm trying to look at this cool animation. That holds up better than it should. You didn't even see it. You just weren't even looking at the...
I remember feeling like
don't be like that.
Finally started.
Don't be like,
when
no,
I was a kid.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Like this is the movie I showed up to see.
And there's this real quick token like, oh, okay, Mr. Freeze, I'll help you out. Kind of thing at the end.
That looks all right.
Yeah. This still holds up okay.
You know what this looks like? Or you know what looks like this? I'm not sure which came out first. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
That's spot on.
Yep.
That I've only seen once, but it's gorgeous.
I love Scooby-Doo on
It's
Zombie
lovely.
Island.
And the difference between it and this, besides the fact that this is a Batman thing without Scooby-Doo in it, and that's a Scooby-Doo thing without Batman in it, is that it has a good script too.
Yeah. No, I think it is inarguably the best Scooby-Doo movie. It's not my favorite, and I think people can have different favorites, but I think inarguably it is the best Scooby-Doo
I mean,
movie.
I don't have a favorite, so that would probably be... I'm not a Scooby-Doo guy.
Mine's the Black Werewolf.
We have not decided yet if
Universal
we're going to
Monsters.
do the Batman Scooby-Doo movies, but I think we should.
Well,
Because it
wouldn't
is a
we
thing
be
that says
past
movie
that?
on it. Oh, yeah.
that would have been way back in the 70s.
God, we should have done it already.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
So we did decide.
Oh, I guess we did decide. Yeah. What am I thinking? I guess I was just thinking like releases, but that's not how we're doing these, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I guess we could shove it in somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is we're not posting these yet.
We could record it and then go back.
And put
but
it
then this
first.
conversation becomes
Or
awkward.
not first, but
If you get to this conversation,
this conversation
you have already
becomes hilarious.
watched the Scooby-Doo Batman movies, then we made
got
a
a weird
decision.
kind of time travel thing going on because of the way we shot these. Why does it look so good?
Don't know.
But I don't care. Hurts my feelings.
This feels like the ending.
This
of
is
a
cool.
movie.
I mean, the blend there with the computer stuff and the 2D was really cool.
It reminds me of the ending of Diamonds Are Forever.
And this is just as we're getting out of the straight up hand drawn cell era, and we're starting to get into the computer era.
Why are there polar bears on?
What?
It's not cold here.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of the ocean. Wouldn't they be sick? What are they eating?
Well, and
why are there polar bears?
he didn't seem to have any problem having them at the gala and stuff either.
Yeah, but like they were out for a stroll or whatever. They're living here. I mean, I'm not a polar bear expert, but I assume if they live in a cold climate, their
They
bodies
need
are
a
designed
cold
for that.
climate,
Yeah.
right.
Except for in Lost.
Except for in Lost. Yeah, I guess the thing that doesn't explain is how they're able to live there. I never even thought of
So they
that.
killed these polar
I was just wondering how
They
got
totally
there
just
in the
murdered
first
these
place.
polar bears!
No, they're going to land in the water.
Where are they swimming to?
Are we going to
It's
see
the
them
middle of
pop their
nowhere!
head- See, they pop their heads up.
But it's the middle of nowhere. Where are they going to go? Where? There's no land around.
And they have that kind of cartoon anthropomorphized expression where you expect them to start talking at any moment.
No, Batman just murdered those polar bears. They're dead. What are they gonna do? Swim back to the on fire oil drilling station? Like, where are they going? Nowhere.
And I'm not gonna say it's necessarily bad, of course, to have your conflict be this person you care about there's a villain that's going to give them a blood transfusion and steal their organs and stuff. But this is Batgirl, and we just made her the damsel in distress for the movie, and that's a real easy complaint to make, but it frustrates me because I like that character.
I mean, we did a lot with
do
her,
Batgirl stuff.
protecting herself and
That's
trying
true.
to escape. And no, we tried to.
But it felt like
that.
they were, yeah, but they were overcompensating. They could have just told a more interesting
man,
story.
This is so pretty.
I know. And again, big screen worthy, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
You put this in the theater.
I mean,
This stuff
not
looks
the rest of the movie,
so
but-
much better.
Yeah.
Than but I mean, I think visually the whole movie would look great on the big screen, regardless of how bored I am with the story.
Yeah.
Like the atmosphere on this oil rig is great.
How many lines did Kevin Conroy show up and record in this movie? Like 18, like tops.
He did this between lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
Most assuredly. Hell, he might have done this over dinner. He might have been eating dinner and recorded lines between steak bites.
His voice seems way less cold and calculated than almost like he forgot how to do the voice.
No, I disagree. That's not the issue. The issue is they're not modulating it in post like they used to.
Oh, is that what's
I think
going on
he's
there?
doing the exact same performance. Now, in their defense, they talk a lot about... Bruce Timm talks in the commentaries about how difficult it was to go back and recreate that. They couldn't remember what they did to it.
Oh.
They kept screwing around with it forever before they finally got the exact perfect sound. And it was really innovative, and it was something like no one had ever done before. And then they couldn't recreate it.
Okay, but
and there are places where they
nothing.
do recreate it or get really close. But yeah, here it sounds like they haven't done anything. And we're talking over this. Maybe they've done like a slight bit, but I don't know that they've done much more than just like a little bit of reverb or whatever. And it should be different depending on whether or not he has his helmet on.
But he doesn't.
Like when he has it off, because part of the reason it sounds like that is because it goes through a speaker. So I didn't think anything of it when he had it off. It's gorgeous.
Yep.
That Batman face, like. It's shot like I should just be so enamored with this.
Yep. No, I get why Adam Conroy likes this, because all he's ever talked about is
looks like
how much he
Batman's
loves the animation.
having the fight of his life, and you know, I want to love these moments where Batman and Mr. Freeze have an unlikely team up, but you know, an uneasy team up. I'll even go as far as to say this is some of the best that particular version of the Batsuit has looked, just with the way it's lit and stuff. And I like how colorful it is. I mean, it feels like the blue is bluer.
Yeah, yeah. Why does she come in?
For this material, I really like it.
How is she helping?
Because they're going to find Nora.
Oh, she knows where it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're trying to rescue Nora. Is that what
yeah,
we're doing right now?
Yeah. They're going to rescue Nora. I just didn't get why she was going. I was like, no offense, but like you don't have a costume. Like Batman's costume's like slightly insulated against fire and stuff, but she's taking them where.
But Mr. Freeze is injured, so he can't.
Yeah.
Go down.
Yeah.
Isn't that right? Didn't he get his leg hurt or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
We were talking over it. I'm going
like,
from
no,
memory
my
on
leg.
that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, thanks.
Remember, it's hurt. That's exactly what he said. Where are you driving to? Where is he driving to?
Death?
Or was it a boat? It must have been a boat.
Okay.
Because it looked like he was driving, and I was like, on what? You're in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, it was in a boat. I thought you were just questioning his sense of direction.
Well, that too. Why is he circling?
Where are you going?
Why is he circling? Just drive away immediately. Get away from the exploding oil drill. Also, why is Mr. Freeze's hold up an oil drilling facility? Why in the middle of the ocean? Why not? I don't know.
Because
like a place
this
in Gotham,
show
like
loves
it usually
its
is.
explosions.
Okay.
And you gotta have an explode. Well, yeah. I don't know. It's not like it's colder out there.
Yeah. Why is he here? Why would he go to the most flammable place he can possibly go?
And you'd think maybe we'd be making some kind of like environmental argument or something with this.
No.
I don't think the fact that it's an oil rig really has any thematic significance.
Yeah, we put polar bears there, and we're not doing any kind of thematic significance. It's not like the polar bears used to be able to live here, and now they can't because of this oil rig. Like nothing.
I don't need it to be super preachy about the environment, but how is it that you have an oil rig and an endangered species and nothing
in the same place?
In the same place with explosions.
Captain Planet could have had a whole 20-minute speech about this.
This should be a Captain Planet movie.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Most beautifully animated Captain Planet movie.
I do have to say too, I don't think this is Shirley Walker's best score.
No, certainly not.
It does feel like somehow rather the animators were inspired by this script in a way she was not.
Look at the silhouettes.
I do have to say, I am kind of glad we're going back and looking at this again, just because I forgot how good it looks.
Yeah. You know, you can take out a bunch of stills and be like, look Look at the amazing Batman movie everyone forgot about.
I am really glad that we essentially watched this and Mask of the Phantasm back to back.
Mm. No, this looks better than Mask of the Phantasm.
I mean, for some reason, and I mean, they're different things. I kind of want Mask of the Phantasm to be simpler in its animation.
Mm.
I don't think I would want it to look like this.
Even the ending fight when everything's on fire.
Some of these close-ups where it's almost like where we do that Fleischer rotoscope or like rotoscope-esque, almost like fully realistic face with Batman. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having some of that.
Yeah. Like, look at that. Did you see that? It was great.
I think I might have used that for the thumbnail for the rewind.
You should have. It's a great picture.
Photorealistic was the word I was trying to think of. For some reason, this disc has these backwards, and like it's already weird that Sub-Zero is on the left and Mask of the Phantasm is on the right, but they even like credit them that way. Like they put the
that's weird.
They put the information backwards. Although I'm not against the notion of watching this, telling people to watch this first if they had this disc, just because then you're saving the best for last, you know.
Yeah.
This is more disappointing if you've seen Mask of the Phantasm.
This is a real style over substance kind of film.
Right? Yeah, I'd go as far as to say I almost wish it... I mean, you cut out the whole middle portion and then just don't even have any dialogue. Like, it's a Fleischer cartoon right now, and it's gorgeous. And it's still taking too long.
Yeah.
That's what's weird about it, is the pacing is still off, but it looks amazing.
Yep. So
why is this taking so long? It's just
you see how Batman's cape wrapped around him?
I know, it's so cool.
Why did they care this much?
This is why people remember this movie fondly, right?
Do people remember this movie fondly?
Oh, I got some very irritated comments when I reviewed this movie.
Then yes, it's entirely that it looks beautiful.
And I
because no one can like this movie, right? Like it's real boring.
That's not fair, but I don't know. It's just it didn't grab me.
Like if people are like it's a visual masterpiece, like fair.
Clearly, that's all we can say about it right now in that last scene. I forgot, Eric, that it looked that good.
Yeah.
Good God. That, like you said, that cape wrapping around thing, that is inspired.
Yeah.
This is where they're going to say that she got up and walked off.
Oh, we don't even get to see it?
No.
Oh, that's criminal.
Yeah. See, look, she's been revived. She got her transplant. This is the concept for your film.
Yeah.
Should have started here.
Wait. I need some context. As just a citizen of Gotham, that he died 2 weeks ago in an offshore drilling explosion.
So Bruce Wayne paid for everything. We're just getting all
How
of this.
many news stories start with ironically?
Okay, so like she didn't decide to not be with him. She doesn't even know that he's alive.
Yeah, it's a nice cast.
I guess. Yeah, I always thought that was kind of cool.
Which I think that's what we do with
okay, so
the
she
New Batman Adventures.
So she
I
doesn't
think
leave.
New Batman Adventures is when
off.
he goes back to her.
Oh, is that what it is? And there is an episode about it?
I think
but
so.
There could be a feature in that. I'm sorry, it's been a long time. I just didn't remember that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were some frustrated
I'm sure that
people
ice
in the
cast
audience
really
going,
helps his bones.
If he can stay in the Arctic long enough, I guess it might work. So that was that movie.
Yeah.
Well, it was fun to look at that.
Yeah.
Especially that third act.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
I
don't know why it exists.
No. But you could think of, like, 100 more interesting premises, even with Mr. Freeze. I mean, I'm not saying the problem is you went to Mr. Freeze.
No. Especially these people. They're the people that made Mr. Freeze interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, not these people.
No.
It's Paul Dini. Paul Dini did it. But I mean, it's not like these people are just like nobodies they picked up off the street. Like, they're also writers for Batman the Animated Series. They should be able to do this.
Well, I'm sure some of the animators were some of the people that worked on that other show.
But yeah, that's about exactly the movie I remembered. And I always thought that I must have been forgetting things. I was like, all right, I remember...
There's nothing to it.
I remember Batgirl. I remember Mr. Freeze steals her. I remember Batman shows up at an oil rig and things blow up. Those are the things I remember. That's all that happens.
That's about it.
That's the movie.
And that we just sort of establish that Robin and Batgirl are an item.
Which is weird, because we're
with
going
that animation with that animation style, I wish we could have gotten like a cool action piece with the three of them in costume fighting together. Especially because you get that all the time in the New Batman Adventures. And we could have had it with this incredible animation.
I like that Batgirl costume. New Batman Adventures.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's good. What would have been really nice, and I'm saying this in hindsight, of course, would have been if they just made Batman and Robin their way.
Just did Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be cool.
I just would have liked to have seen what they did with it.
Yeah. Yeah, because this doesn't even really feel like Nora's back. Like, this should be an ending to that character.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to go watch the episode.
I guess it's sort of like the idea that he went through all that and it was worth it, and she's okay. And the implication in this is supposed to be he walks away and lets her live her life. Obviously, that's not what happens.
Yeah, it makes me want to go rewatch the episode from New Batman Adventures.
Yeah.
And see exactly what they do with it. Script consultants Alan Burnett and Paul Dini.
Paul Dini consulted on this movie. I wish he consulted a little harder.
Did you put Mr. Freeze in it? Yeah, we put Mr. Freeze. A good job.
Hey, Paul Dini, you think we should make a Mr. Freeze movie? Sure. You want to know my ideas? No. All right.
Well, if Mr. Freeze's head came off and he was a spider, that's a little crazy. All right, I'll put in something else.
Are you sure that didn't come from Tim Burton?
No, it seems like a Mignola thing. I don't know if he designed him on that, but I feel like he did. Because I know he did this design, but I feel like they had to get him back for that one because that spider head thing is so Mignola.
It sounds like a thing that could have been in Superman Lives.
Yeah, no, it does.
Okay, this bit of the score is not bad.
How are the credits this long?
I know. Because the animation is amazing and really hard to do.
Yeah, but we're done with the animation now.
No, we're still doing production people.
Production supervisors. Look how many supervisors there were on this production. Couldn't one of them have supervised the story?
No! Well, that is Sub-Zero, and I still got some milkshake left. Did you drink all your milkshake?
I didn't all my milkshake.
Well, I'm really enjoying my pineapple.
I drink milkshakes very fast.
Milkshake. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and we will see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to do some more animation, and in this same continuity, we're going to do Batman Beyond the movie, which is not the actual Batman Beyond movie, which is Return of the Joker. This is just the first 3 episodes as a movie, kind of like, actually pretty much exactly like, what we had with World's Finest. But this was released as the movie, which Eric had to point out to me because I kind of forgot about. That's really
cool that's great, yeah.
We're looking at the menu for this.
The Hunt for Mr. Freeze. I wonder if that's a little documentary, a little mini documentary.
No, I don't know. It's probably not. These are probably just like stills and things, or that might be like a stupid game. Yeah, it's a stupid game. That's what I figured.
Dumb games.
What is this? That's just somebody drawing Batman.
Maybe it's like how to draw Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's...
You know I hate about the how to draw Batman? Is that...
And then that's just production
or how to draw videos?
Or like pencil drawings and stuff.
Is how to draw videos are visually what... like that, you know that joke that everyone makes with the like how to draw guides? It's like draw a circle, draw another circle. Dinosaur. like you know how that's like how to draw?
Yeah.
I feel like the videos are like that too, where like whenever you look at
like skip it like 15 steps.
Well, it's like okay, draw an oval for Batman's head. draw like the part of his mask, and then they do like the fast forward where it's like, and then draw Batman, and now it's Batman, and you're like, well, like I saw what you did, but it was real fast, and it was like this.
It's almost like, here's the foundation. Now you need talent. Well, once again, thanks for watching, folks. And like I said, we're gonna do where did it go? We're gonna do Batman
where did
Beyond.
it go? Oh, it's over there.
Something I've got Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's too much on my desk. We're not doing that tomorrow. We've been there and done that. Anyway, but we're Eric pointed out to me that they did release this and put the word movie on it. So I was like,
it says
okay,
the movie. This should also not be confused with the Batman Beyond live action film that never got made but was flirted with.
Well, yes, of course. But I don't think there's anybody watching this that thinks maybe that's a thing.
Just letting people know.
Okay, good. That's good. But anyway, but we decided, okay, if we're gonna do World's Finest, then we should probably do this too. So here it is.
Actually, you decided on a live video.
Now here's the thing.
You, the audience.
I've never watched it like this, and if it is seamless and it just goes straight through like World's Finest did, I'll go ahead and buy this.
Oh yeah. Because
I, of course, have these episodes, but this is a different way to watch it. It's put together. If it's like that with World's Finest, I mean, I own those on separate episodes too. So just to be complete, I'll probably go ahead and actually buy this. But anyway, once again, we'll see you tomorrow. I am Captain Logan,
and I'm Eric.
Thanks for watching.